He's rearranging now.
Call the meeting to order. Rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tammy, are you recording? We're recording. Is anybody else recording?
I am.
All right. I'm going to make a motion to follow the meeting agenda. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public participation. Judy Walsh.
I've got a couple questions. I listened to the recording from last month's meeting, and in that you said that he said what you did was not wrong by working. Is that true? I mean, that's what was said on the recording.
Yeah.
You argued that you didn't. I just wondered why you didn't feel that you could tell people what was stated in the ethics letter that you got on January 4th, that was sent out on January 4th. I have a copy of it. It was a month before that last meeting that it was sent out, but you never said a word about it in that meeting. And that ethics letter clearly states that you did not do the right thing. It says that you owe $624, which is not all that you owe, that's just overtime. I mean, I've talked to the Ethics Commission, because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about. I'm questioning why you aren't telling us the truth and why the stuff hasn't been coming out. Should have been come out at the last meeting. Ray, did you know he got a letter from the Ethics Commission?
Yeah, I was told he got a letter from the Ethics Commission.
I'm curious.
Well, I think that your version of the letter from the Ethics Commission is a little bit misleading.
You want me to read it to you?
Sure, go ahead, read it.
I can read it to you,
That's fine.
because, I got a copy of it.
They didn't tell me that I owed anybody $625.
Not 625,
Okay.
624.
Okay.
Said, Dear Mr. Phillips, the investigative division of the State Ethics Commission has completed a preliminary inquiry regarding allegations that in your capacity as a Ridgebury Township supervisor, you violated provisions of the Ethics Act when you appointed yourself to a paid position with the township without prior approval of the Township Board of Supervisors, and when you authorized and/or directed payments to yourself in excess of the amount of compensation set by the Township Board of Auditors. Following a preliminary inquiry into this matter, it has been determined that there was no formal vote of the Board of Supervisors appointing you to a position of employment with the township, but that an informal agreement existed between you and another member of the Board of Supervisors authorizing you to work for township on an emergency basis. In addition, the inquiry concluded that the compensation you received was based on information you provided to a township employee and that the rate paid was in excess of the amount set by the township auditors for supervisors, employees, laborers by the township. A determination has been made, however, the total amount paid to you, which would be considered excessive, totaled $624. Prior Ethics Commission precedent has determined this amount to be de minimis. As such, the investigative division of the Ethics Commission is taking no further formal action in this matter. However, please be advised that your actions in participating in your appointment as an emergency employee of the township should have been done at a public meeting where all members of the Board of Supervisors and the public would be made aware of such appointment. In addition, clear-cut duties should be designated for which you are to be compensated so that the rate of pay you receive is commensurate with the rate of pay set by the township auditors. In the future, please be sure that your actions comport with the provisions of the Ethics Act as specifically addressed in this correspondence. Failure to do so may result in these matters being revisited. Wait a minute, a little bit more. If you should have any questions, please feel free to contact the Investigative Division of State Ethics Commission. So I would say that that says you were wrong. I don't know what anybody else thinks it says, but that's how I take it. And you have continued to do this. You worked another time for the township after what was sent in and gave yourself $14 an hour. So, yes, Scott, you are doing wrong.
Explain to me how I gave myself $14 an hour. Who determined that I got $14 an hour?
You did.
You.
How did I determine that?
Yeah,
I have
that's
no
what
idea.
you told, what's her name, Julie, to pay yourself, to pay you.
That's what I told her?
Well, I would think. Somebody told her to do that, because that was her that paid you.
When I turned in my time card, she asked what the rate of pay was. Ray sat in the office, I sat in the office, Tammy sat in the office, and Julie sat in the office. And Tammy looked up the rate of pay, and Tammy told Julie the rate of pay.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened. I don't know what you told the ethics committee, or whoever told the ethics committee.
I didn't
but
say,
what
I
they
didn't say I
me-
told them.
But what whoever told the ethics committee was not true. I never told anyone to pay me any rate of pay. I turned in a time card, and she paid me the rate of pay that Tammy said that the auditors had set.
Well, you should have checked it out because there were other rates there that applied to road work.
Well,
And
I
you
thought,
didn't check it
well,
out,
I
and
would,
you
I would have
didn't
thought
turn
that
in
our
the card.
secretary and our
You
treasurer.
turned in a timesheet. You didn't turn it, just once did you turn in the card. You turned in timesheets,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Because you just said you turned in a card, that's not true.
No, I said I turned in a time sheet. That's what I said.
As a supervisor or as a crew member? What'd you put on?
I don't know. I'm not looking at it. I don't know what I put on.
Because if you put down that you were a supervisor, as I listened to that tape from last month, Pat's absolutely right, you're over your limit. Because what you got paid was as a supervisor, not as a road crew member.
Well, really, that's here nor there, because the bottom line is, you were never legally hired properly.
No.
All right, I'm about done listening to that from you, Bill. Last month, and every month for the past
Well, last
5
month
months.
you said you were gonna
Whoa.
No, last month you said you were gonna bring the lawyer in to straighten that out tonight. I asked you about bringing the lawyer because you said the lawyer said that you did everything properly. So I just want to bring him in and let him explain to us how it is proper.
Bill, listen, I'm done with this nonsense from you. Every month you ask a question, we give you the answer, and then you say, oh no, that's not the answer I wanted to hear.
Well, it's not.
I
You
know
never
it's not.
hired properly. Did
I
you meet
got-
all the qualifications to do
I
that?
asked PSATs if I was hired, if what I did was correct, and they said yes. They gave me that answer in writing. You said you were gonna put in a right to know to get that in writing.
I
Did you
did.
do that?
Well, no, because I thought probably you'd bring it this meeting with a lawyer and read it to us. Do you have that on the record here?
All
where
you
can-
wanna do is sit here and make accusations.
No, I'm
And when I tell
saying,
you that
if
what
you have
said-
that letter, bring it in and read it to us, and that'll clear it up.
when I tell you what you're saying is wrong, If you don't believe it, turn in a right to know. I'll give you the answer in writing. Stop
All
sitting
right.
out here and spouting the same nonsense
Well,
month
rather
after
than having a
month.
right to know, why don't you just read it to us now?
Why don't you just turn in a right to know instead of spouting off the same nonsense?
All right.
I've answered your question 100
All
times,
right.
and you don't want to hear it.
Well, I'm trying to be nice to you, not.
No, you're
corner you.
not.
All right.
You said, oh, you're not
And
covered.
you said the
you
lawyer
said-
agreed to it.
You said you're not covered under the insurance. You
You
asked Ray
really
to
wanna
call,
go there?
you asked Ray to call the insurance company. He called the insurance company. I've heard him tell you 5 times
Mhm.
that I'm
What did
covered
they
under
tell
the
you?
insurance.
What did the insurance company, what did
What
the insurance
did they
company
tell
tell
you?
you?
He's covered under the insurance, as long
As
as,
what?
state,
As
as
what?
long as he follows state, if he drives a truck with air brakes, he has to have a CDL. If the supervisors want somebody to go to work and they have a driver's license, they're
But he has to meet
they're
the
covered.
qualifications.
What qualifications?
He has to go through a drug test, a background check. That's not for driving truck. That's to be hired as a.
As a Ridgebury
as a-
Township.
As a
Our
township
insurance
employee.
covered Scott while he was working.
But if he'd have had an accident and they would have had to pay for it, the township would either had their insurance go through the roof. I
That's
talked
not the
with
way it's
Mr. Gaylor
explained.
today, so
That's
don't
not the way
laugh,
it's
Scott.
explained to me. That's not the way, I called him, I talked to the girl for quite a while.
Well,
And
that's
that's
what
not
I
the
was
way it was
told
explained
today.
to me.
If you'd have had an accident or hurt yourself, they probably would have covered the case, whatever.
Why would they raise our insurance? If anybody has insurance.
Because he's
He's
not
not legally
hired
hired.
legally. He has
I'm gonna
not,
say this one more time. When I call PSATs,
PSAT has nothing to do.
We don't know that. We don't even know if you called. You never put up anything
All
showing
right,
us that you
I'm done.
called.
Citizens input is over.
It is?
Yeah,
It can be.
yeah, I'm done with it.
Well, where's your PSAP letter?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, since everybody's arguing, I'd like to make a motion or discuss that we have a third-party arbitrator come in and solve this problem once and for all, and then everybody would be happy.
That's what we've
I
been
mean,
asking.
I don't know
for.
anything about what's going on, but I
Thank
can
you.
see that you have your idea, he has his
Thank you.
idea.
That's what we've been
And you're
trying to
going
get.
nowhere, and I've had past experience with
Well,
arbitrators
they have
and
downside.
city things. So I like to make a motion that an arbitrator come in and solve this problem, whether it's your favor or in favor. Oh, not my favor, I just came tonight. Whoever's on this side and your side, just solve this problem. And it'll be in writing, and it'll be someone else here that's not related to this side or that side. And that's what I'd like to suggest.
That's,
We've been
that's,
asking for
We've
that
been
for
asking.
months.
that's
We
why
have
we
an
I would like
outside
to-
auditor going through the book.
I mean, I'd like to have somebody come in though and actually speak and solve this problem and say, this is what I found, and you're right, or they're right. I'd like to have somebody actually come in physically and solve this problem. Because I would like to know what's going on.
Thank you.
And so I would like, am I allowed to make a motion that we have an arbitrator come in and
They have
solve
to
this
do it.
problem?
They have.
I
to
mean,
do
I don't
that.
know how it works here.
One of them has to
You're
make
asking for
that.
them to make the motion.
Yeah, I'd like someone to make a motion, and I think it'd be good for your side, that if you're innocent, then your name will be cleared, and you'll be good to go, and you won't have to listen to us
Would you
anymore.
be happy if?
And
the
you won't
attorney-
have to listen, you know what I'm saying? It would be your
Would you be happy if
benefit,
the attorney came in? And sat here with us?
but if someone come in and actually solve this problem, so you two will stop arguing about it.
But the Ethics
You know,
Commission, the
they
Ethics
come in.
Commission, the State Ethics Commission has found that he was guilty, that he worked without proper authorization. That's what they concluded.
So what is going forward with that? I mean,
Go
You
you're
won't,
on
saying-
you won't
forward.
go by it.
We
That's what
asked
he's
him to
doing.
pay the money back, he won't do that.
But has an arbitrator or third party actually come in and say, this is what I want you to do?
I would object.
You know, I think someone should come in and actually talk and say, this is the results,
Have
and this
somebody
is what's gonna be
investigate
done,
it.
and I'm gonna make a decision. He does not have to pay it back, or he does have to pay it back. I think you need to have somebody actually come in that investigated, instead of a letter or whatever, just come in and actually say, this is the results. Then you won't, you know what I mean, if you didn't do anything, it would be good for you.
Just like that
And
PSAP letter. if
You know, I just
presented
think it would be good to have somebody come in, if anybody
It would
was
clear it.
willing to do that and clear it up, and then you guys would be happy.
I agree with that, thank you.
What would we do to make you happy? What would we do to satisfy you?
Pay the
No
money
lawyer
back.
in.
We have to
Bring your
follow the-
PSAC letter in with a lawyer.
Pay the money back, that's all.
we have to follow the code set by PSATs, which is the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors. Those are the rules we have to follow. They make our rules. I contacted PSATs because you guys came in here with a bunch of questions and a bunch of allegations. I explained the situation. I was on the phone for 2 hours with this woman, and she said, when you are elected as a supervisor, anytime you do work to do anything for the township, you can be compensated at the rate set by the auditors. You don't have to be officially hired at a meeting. When you're elected, that's when you're hired. The township auditors set the pay rate of the supervisors because they already are stewards of the township, and when they do their work, they are allowed to be compensated. And I said, well, these people will never believe that because they won't listen to anything. So can I send you these questions in an email, this whole list of questions, and can you answer this whole list of questions? And she said, absolutely. And she did so. And I made that clear 4 or 5 months ago. No one wants to do any due diligence to read it or look at it or take care of it. They just want to sit here and argue that they don't believe that that's what happened.
Well, then for the
You
next,
worked without proper authorization.
for the
That is what
next
happened.
meeting, let's get a PSAC representative and our lawyer here. So that he can back the.
Why don't you call PSATs and see if you can get them here? They're in Harrisburg. They don't come to a township meeting and settle a dispute like this. She sent a letter that said what I did
Well,
was
get the letter and
according-
read it to us now to make it
I put
clear.
in a right to know for that letter today.
Yeah.
So I would like it
Well,
before
then read it at next
meeting.
month's meeting then.
I will.
Read it at next month's meeting and solve this problem.
But
You
I'd
could have done
also
that,
like
you could have done that 6 months ago.
I just heard it on the thing from last month's
Well, Bill
meeting.
could have done it a month ago and he could be reading it right
Well,
now.
I was trying to get you to, man up, I guess.
Well, I told you, if you wanted to answer in writing, to put in a right to know.
I
told you
just
that.
asked to see it, just to read it at the meeting.
And I told you, if you wanted to see it, put in a right to know and you could read it,
Why
you
do
could
we
have
have
a
to do
copy
a
of
right
it.
to know? Why can't you just bring it in here and read it to us?
Because I don't have it in my hand, Bill, and we're at a township meeting. I don't have it in my hand.
Well, where is it? Shouldn't that be on the township record? That shouldn't be at home with you. That should be in the records in the township.
It's an email from me to the
Oh, so it's
PSAT.
not written on paper then?
Bill, I'm done with you.
Is it on paper? You said it was on paper just a minute ago.
It's an answer in writing. It's an email. It's a written
So it's
answer
not
from
on, you
PSAT.
said they sent you a letter.
I'm done with this nonsense. This is ridiculous.
All right.
Now you're gonna argue whether
We're
it has to be in
we're
writing or it
asking
can be
for
in
it,
an email.
and from the,
Put in a right to know.
we want a right to know, but we want it in writing from the state, not off your phone. That's not a legal,
An email
that's not a
from the
legal,
state
that's
is,
not a legal transaction. It has to be in writing, so that
Bill,
we have something to present.
enough, or I'm gonna tell you to leave.
Well, you can tell me to leave, but I don't have to, but I mean, I'm just asking you a
I've
question.
had enough of it, Bill.
Can we have it, can you get a hold of them, have it in writing? That's what we need.
That's what an email is.
No, we want it on paper,
Oh my
With a
God.
signature.
with a signature on it to who you talked to. Cause I've already talked to a couple guys in PSAC.
Good.
We have a
And that's
letter-
what,
we
and this
have
is
a
what
letter
they're
from
telling
the
me
ethics
to tell you, because they said it has to be in writing and somebody has to sign it. My son worked for the state, and he knows the guy. And he said, get it in writing and have whoever you talk to sign it, because they don't
That's why
agree
I
with it
emailed
either.
them the questions.
Because
should
they don't
email
agree
me
with it
back.
either, so.
Well, that's
The
fine.
next meeting, have it for us. How do we put that up that we can get that, the next meeting in writing?
Put in a
That
right
gives you
to
30
know,
days.
Bill. I told you
I want
that
a right
last
to
month.
know for him to get it, so we have it in writing with a signature on the
Is there
bottom of
something
it.
wrong with you? I said, put in a right to know, you'll have
I
it in
just
writing
did.
in your hand.
All right,
He's asking
Judy
for a
put in a
letter.
right to know, she's gonna have it in her
Right.
hand.
but I want it with a signature on the guy. I'm telling you what
Well,
I,
then call Melissa Morgan from PSAS and see if you can get her to put
it's
a
not up
signature
to
on
me
it.
to
No,
do
the
it. It's
burden
your
of proof is on
paperwork.
you. The burden
Isn't
of
it his
proof is on
paperwork?
you.
If I give you
That
an
you
email
were
from PSATs, I
authorized
don't have to
to
go to
put
Harrisburg to
yourself
have
on
somebody
payroll
sign it.
and take that money. That's
had
up
it.
to
That's what I'm
you.
saying.
I've had it. This is enough of this nonsense. This has
We've
been
had
going
it
on for
too.
6 months.
We've had it too with your
Well, then help-
lies and your
help
stealing.
us solve it.
That's stealing.
I give you an
Work
answer,
with
if
us
you
and
don't
help
like
us
it,
solve it.
I'm tired of it. That's it. I'm done.
Well, work with us and help us solve it. And we hope it's in your favor. We're not saying it's not in your favor. It can come out in your
It's
favor.
not gonna come out. in this
I'm gonna
way.
adjourn the
It can
meeting and
help
we'll
you.
start this over some other day, because I've about had enough.
Well, just listen to what we're saying.
I've been listening to what you've been saying for 6 months, Bill.
And
It's
you
the
haven't
same
done nothing
thing.
about it.
I did do something about it. I went and asked the person who is in charge, who makes the rules. I got the rules, her determination in writing. That's
We
what I
don't know
did.
what questions you asked.
And what, she can't make it.
Put
We
in
have
the right to
questions
know.
we want to ask.
Put in the right to know. The questions are on
We got
the
a right to
email.
know in there, but we want it, I'm just saying, it can't be off your phone. We want it documented with a signature to it. Isn't that fair, right? Have a
When
signature
you
on
get
it?
a right to
Who we
know,
talk to?
you're gonna have it, and was
All
it
right.
signed?
Is it,
I have no idea whether it was
if it's
signed.
on his
It was
phone,
my
then
phone.
signed.
Well, put in the right to know. You
All right, we got the
it's
right
not
to know.
okay.
What is it? We have a right to know, and we want to put on the table so everybody can have a copy next meeting. Thank
Well,
you.
then put in a right to know, make as many copies as you want, pass them out if that's what makes you happy.
All right, thank you.
And we'll put some.
But we do need
copies of
somebody
the
to come
ethics
in
letter
and
on
explain it to us, right?
You
You
would
bring the
like-
lawyer and try
We'll
to talk to somebody from Harrisburg, or
We're done
just
with
call
this.
the
We're
state
trying
and
to
talk to
conduct a
them.
meeting and do some business.
Thank you, I
here.
just want to finish that. All right, Ray, thank you.
Are we done now?
I didn't agree to anything you said.
Well, I just asked you,
Okay.
what's your comment?
You said
No?
Thank you. That's good.
All
All right,
right.
I'm gonna make a
And you're
motion to
agreeing,
accept
thank
the
you.
minutes of the February meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Financial reports. There's no treasurer's report. Diane is sick.
There's some here.
She has the check details and those things are out, but she didn't actually have a treasurer's report. Monthly expenses.
She asked them about pumpkin spruce.
No, not yet. All right. 5-star equipment, a tooth and a pin for the backhoe, 7528. Moore's Automotive. I would say brakes and a U-joint
Oh, yeah, for the
for the
Ram
Dodge.
5500.
Yeah, the little Dodge, 20945.
Is anybody working on the oil pan?
Yes. It's turned into more than what it was made out to be. I stopped in the garage tonight on my way home. You gotta actually lift the body, the cab and everything up to change that oil pan.
The oil pan on the Dodge 5500 was rusted through from the outside in.
The 3 hours was for a gas job, not a diesel. He hopes to have it done tomorrow, so.
All right,
Do you think you could get Diane to make up when she comes back to work, to make up a treasurer's report so we know what you have in accounts and et cetera?
yeah, I'm sure she can do that when she gets back in here and just break it down. 6-pole round trailer plug, must be, electric cleaner, also from Moore's, 2553, it's for the Mac. Tractor supply, nuts and bolts and hydraulic oil, 177.26. Radco supply, one-way threaded rod, 159.80. Staples. Office supplies. $77.46. Moore's Auto Supply, parts for the Dodge, oil filter brake, air brake tubing, PV blaster, $40.44. Point spring and drive shaft, 91 International. U-bolt, nuts and washers, $193.48. Everything working good with that? 91 International air brake hose fittings, cutoff wheel. Washer solvent, 6-inch amber light, 92.69 and 17.69. These are both from Moore's also. Point spring and drive shaft, 91 International. Must be more air hose fittings.
Could be air hoses.
Yeah, air hoses. 36.14. Bradco Supply. Spring, standard nut. Upper spring cover, one-way pin. What's that? Oh, Mac. It says for the Mac.
That's from Mac, that spring assembly.
Oh.
That goes with that threaded rod that was on the other one.
Yeah. 391.66. Bradco Supply again. Chain adjuster cylinder, 195.26. What's that for, Bob?
That's just shocks on the Volvo for the chain tensioner on the spreader.
Okay. 5/8 by 6 by 144 cutting edge, standard and a carbide. Must be for the
That's the plow.
To snow plows. $624. I make a motion to accept these.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Fund transfers. How much was in the state?
The liquid fuels check came in and that was like 234,000. She
It's a
brought
no.
that. So I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say probably maybe 140, 150. But I think most of it's still in the savings. They deposit it into the checking and then the other it's going into the savings. So I think it's half.
How much did you get from the president?
08. We have an 08.
I would have her. if everything remaining to the large amount left.
Do you think it's about time to upgrade?
Do you know how much we got?
Should I make a full motion?
Maybe
They're all like 20,000.
I don't know.
Okay.
May I ask what you got for liquid fuel?
For emergency vehicles, that's all.
It was like around 234,000.
Very.
I just didn't.
Have the exact number.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to transfer all the 20,000 of the state fund checking balance in the state fund savings.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm also gonna make a motion to authorize Diane to make fund transfers this month, whatever is necessary, after she gets her treasurer's report done and takes a look at the expenses.
So is that zero balance in the state checking account?
No, he's left
I
20,000.
left 20,000 in there.
Oh, you went from savings to the checking.
I moved everything but 20,000 out of checking into savings where it'll bear interest.
And what is your balance in the state checking?
It will be 20,000.
It will be 20,000. We're not sure what it is because Diane's not here. She didn't have. So we're gonna move anything in excess of 20,000 into the savings.
Okay, that makes sense then.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
How about the general fund, what's left in that?
Pardon?
I wondered what was left in the general fund.
We don't have exact numbers,
Mhm.
just because of the, I think it's around 20,000, but don't quote me on that.
He needs to transfer the last one.
All right. Township reports and updates, ordinance enforcement, nothing. Road crew summary.
Well, same old, we've been plowing and cinder and every other day it seems like. As you heard, there was a lot of expenses for the 91 International. We've recently changed the rear end and the transmission in that truck. We did it all in-house. A huge savings on, well, that seems to be running all right. The new loader is here. Those of you who don't know, we got a new loader. The 5500, the oil pan's being redone, that rotted out, so he's hoping to have that done tomorrow. I think that's all I have. Oh, no it ain't. Do we wanna do anything with the broom or the tractor hydraulics this month?
So we need the broom soon. This week the cinder's off, so township goes.
The price on those brooms last year was $1,000. I'm sure they're a little more than that now, but.
Right.
I think we ought to get one.
Yeah, we got donations. Buy a new broom for that. Yeah, I'll make a motion to purchase the broom, the replacement broom for the tractor, for the sweeper.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Yes, ma'am.
How about the hydraulics? Didn't he say he needed hydraulics?
Hydraulics need work on them, the pump is what, Bobby?
Yeah, the pump on the tractor.
Right, the hydraulic pump is weak on the tractor.
Can he get that too?
We're gonna see if we can take it to somebody and have them rebuild it. Maybe I'll do that this week. Take it down to
Custom
customer,
or
Stavers.
stavers.
Yep.
I just wanna say.
It's
what
out of
I-
the tractor now, isn't it?
What's that?
Is it out of the tractor now?
No, it's back in
It's
it.
back in it, okay.
I just wanna say what a great job that they're doing.
Thank
God
you.
bless them, because I can get down dug road.
Thank you.
No, they're doing a really good job, and we've had a lot of snow, and just snow and snow and snow, so they're really on top of it, and I just wanna say that they're doing a great job.
Thank you. I'm sure Bob appreciates it.
Doesn't hear it very often, does he?
It's definitely appreciated when I come home after a 12-hour shift and the sun is coming up and I can actually get up my road into my driveway. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you wanna do that hydraulic pump this month too? Yeah, make a motion to get the hydraulic pump rebuilt on the.
Either rebuild or buy them.
Buy a new one, right? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
I gotta ask you a question. Can you throw some cinders down up over that, we've got this truck coming in, and it's just, that Mormon is just ice, pure ice going up.
Are they coming in and out that way?
I don't quite know how they're coming in and out, but Steve said, ask them if they could throw a few cinders down.
We'll ask Billy.
That's okay, I don't care who does it, I just,
We'll get
he
it.
asked me to ask
Yeah.
it, so. I'd hate to have one wicked trick, so.
Fire department report?
He didn't have nothing again.
Okay. All right, correspondence and communications.
There's two different ones.
All right. These are both from Repsol. Repsol Oil and Gas. They're doing well work in Springfield Township. They notify us because they're a neighboring township. Klein. Both of them are from McLean, but they're from different wells. The 1, the 3, the 5, the 7, 9, 11. They're in Springfield Township. Yeah, they're their roads they're going to tear up. All right. Old business, truck bid. Last month we advertised for a used truck and we had no bids, correct? We heard about 2 trucks that were used trucks that were for sale. We went and looked at them both. They were both from municipalities. One was from Elkland and one was from Troy Township. All 3 of us and Bobby went and looked at both of those trucks, and we are going to, I'm going to make a motion to buy the 2004 Mack tandem axle truck and plow from Troy Township for $53,000.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'm gonna make a motion to pay for that out of the equipment fund.
I second it.
All in favor? Aye. So anyway, we went to Troy and looked at that truck. It's a 2004 tandem axle Mack, has a wing plow and a power angle 12-foot front plow. I think it's a 12-foot.
12-foot.
It's in beautiful shape. It has the side dump box and the front spreader like the Volvo has, and the box is 6 years old, he said. The truck and the box and the whole thing is in immaculate condition. So hopefully that makes us a good truck. Gets us out of our truck shortage.
How many miles on it?
170.
170.
170.
170? V8 or 600?
It's a 350 that they've had chipped up. It's a 400 horse now.
Oh,
Mack did all the work to it.
And when we were walking through their facility, all their equipment is very well taken care of. It's all tip-top shape. You could eat off the floor in their shop. Their
Got
equipment,
pictures of the truck if you want to look at them.
so,
It's the nicest 04 I've ever seen.
yeah, they power wash their trucks every time they come in. Before they pull them in the garage, they're kept in the shop. Their plow trucks don't run in the summer. They just plow and cinder with them, and then they park them all summer and use other trucks for road work. So,
Never seen salt.
yeah, it's never spread salt.
Never spread salt.
Hopefully it's a good truck and treats us good. All right, new business. Junkyard licenses. First one is Charles Matthews, Green Mountain Road. Second one is David Baker, May Hill Road. Third one is Larry Van Dyke on Yale Road. Make a motion to approve the junkyard licenses. All in favor? Aye. All right. Spring cleanup.
May 11th.
May 11th.
Yeah.
From 7 to noon, is that when you normally do it? 7 to noon. All right, I'm gonna make a motion to set the date for the spring cleanup on May 11th from 7 a.m. to noon.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, gravel bid. We were having a little discussion about the gravel bid. Last year we bid 6,000 tons of gravel, and when we got the material, we weren't really all that impressed with the material we got. But we had bid 6,000 tons of it, so we had to take it. We couldn't choose. So we were thinking about bidding 2,000 tons so that when the weather breaks and the guys go out and do the spring grading, they would have enough gravel to get the roads at least taken care of in the springtime, and then we could decide whether that was the material we wanted. We could rebid the material and be a little more selective about it. How does that sound to you, Bob?
We gotta have gravel, but we'll see what we get for bids, I guess. I talked a little bit with Tammy today on that gravel. We've talked about it too. It's hard to judge what that gravel was, because everything that we put down before the rains has seemed to hold up. Everything after that has gone to crap. I mean,
Right.
whether the rain, I'm sure the rain played a part in it. But it's hard to judge whether it was good material or whether it was bad material. Anything we did put down early seems to be held and is in good shape.
Right. Yeah, this was far from a normal year.
Right.
Last year was far from a normal year, so. Do you think that's a good idea to try and bid it?
You can always bid more.
Right. And then maybe we'll advertise for bids while you're doing spring grading, and that way,
Right.
when you run out of gravel, we'll have another bid up. Wanna try that?
Well, maybe they'll know more who's gonna get certified too.
Right. All right, so 2A,
I would. You're gonna get whatever they're calling it for the day anyway, but.
right. You wanna bid DSA anyway, also, and see if anybody has it? I mean, it's a nicer material if we can get it, but we weren't able to get any of it.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to advertise for 2,000 tons of 2A and 2,000 tons of DSA.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, are there any other questions and comments? Yes.
I just want to say also what a great job Tammy's doing in the office. She's always pleasant, she's always very knowledgeable, and she always has an answer for me. Even if she has to research it, she takes the time out of her busy day to do it. So I just would like to thank Tammy for a good job too.
Thank you. Thanks.
Are you guys laughing at me? Because I'm, you always come, no, really true. If someone does something bad, everyone can't wait to say, oh, Tammy's doing a whole job, or Bob's doing a whole job. But, nobody ever wants to say when you're doing a good job, so I hope I'm not annoying people, but I sincerely mean it, that they're both doing a good job, and I think that it has to be mentioned.
You don't hear it.
I agree, thank you.
Did she say that's the way you scripted it?
Word for word. Next week it's gonna cost you $100.
All right, is that it? All right, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Cinder bid.
Oh, yeah, cinder bid, what happened there? How did that happen? Cinder bid, Bobby, how many?
I think we gotta do 1,500 cinders and 1,000 of skid. That gives us 2,500, but it also gives us another extra 500 from what we had last year, but we're already using we've used everything that we got last year, and we're into the old pile now, so,
Okay. And it's still snowing up.
yeah.
Use it on.
If we don't use it next year, that's less we have to buy next year.
That's right. All right, I make a motion to, you wanna do the same thing we did, you wanna try and have it delivered in the
Yeah,
summer?
put the delivery date in, what was it, the end of August?
Yeah, by September.
Everything has to be delivered. That worked out nice. You weren't getting frozen stuff, and we didn't have to worry about putting it up in the winter.
Right,
Was it August or was it July?
I think it was August.
yeah, I think it was.
The end of August, everything has to be delivered.
And so you can be on August 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna make a motion to advertise for 1,500 tons of cinders and 1,000 tons of anti-skid to be delivered by August 31st.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. All right. I think that's really it this time. All right, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, Judy, get better. So many
Do we all have to sign?
maintenance program going on.
Oh, yeah.
Got the big solar on the
I knew
tree.
the area.
Just ordered another brand new.
Because he's
Okay.
Percy Bella.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Great help.
I know Tammy works.
I'm glad to see that you didn't, start marching.
Raise your neighbor.
I told them, I go, oh, you guys are in it now.
Jesus, you're my neighbor.
I live.
Oh, do you?
I should actually submit it.
Your husband knows who I am.
It's better.